Topic 1.7 Rivals on the World Stage. Exploration and colonization from the 15th to the 17th century. During the 15th to the 17th century, Spain and Portugal pioneered the age of exploration. This means that they were among the first European countries to explore and establish colonies in faraway lands. Spain was highly successful in establishing colonies. In fact, for a period in the 1500s, Spain was the most powerful country in Europe, largely because of the wealth they acquired from their colonies. They established colonies in several places, including the Americas. Spain conquered large parts of North and South America, the Caribbean. Many islands in the Caribbean were Spanish colonies. And the Pacific. Spain also had territories in the Pacific region. Portugal was another major player in the age of exploration. Like Spain, they also had several colonies around the world. Some of their notable accomplishments include the Americas. While not as expansive as the Spanish territories, Portugal controlled a significant part of present-day Brazil and South America. Africa. Portugal established bases along the African coast, which later became colonies. These were known as the Trading Post Empire. Asia. Portuguese explorers reached parts of Asia, including India and Macau in China. Oceania. They also had a presence in parts of Oceania, such as East Timor and much of Indonesia. The competition. Late 16th to 17th century. As Spain and Portugal grew in power and wealth, other European countries noticed their success and wanted a piece of the action. This led to a fierce rivalry and competition for colonies and trading networks. Here are the new players who entered the scene. First, we have France. France began to establish its own colonies, mainly in North America and parts of India. England too ventured into colonization, marking the beginning of what would become a vast British Empire in later centuries. The Netherlands, the Dutch established a successful trading network and also had colonies in various parts of the world, including in Asia and America. The Dutch era of exploration and colonization. In the early 17th century, the Dutch started their journeys of discovery and setting up colonies. They even established themselves in a place now known as New York. This success was possible because of the hard work of an explorer named Henry Hudson. Apart from this, the Dutch were also successful in creating a very important joint stock trading company called the Dutch East India Company. This company was set up in South Africa and helped the Dutch to take control over many trading places that were previously controlled by Portugal. How did the Dutch gain power? Number one, political strategy. They had independent regions which were directed by groups of rich merchants. This meant they had a strong system of self-governance. 2, economic strength. The Dutch had the biggest group of merchant ships in Europe at the time, which helped them control trade effectively. 3, religious approach. The Dutch followed a branch of Christianity called Calvinism. Their religious beliefs and the freedom to think and express themselves attracted many people and supported economic growth. 4, society and tolerance. The Dutch society was known for respecting different viewpoints, whether in religion or thought. This attitude encouraged growth and prosperity. France, a journey of exploration and colonization. France was one of the countries that decided to explore new places around the world. The main reason they had for exploring were to find fish. France wanted to find new places where they could catch more fish, to get fur. They were interested in finding new sources of fur to use in trade, to spread their faith. The French wanted to share their Christian beliefs with other people. Colonies and attempts at expansion. As they explored, the French started colonies, or new communities in different places. Let's look at what happened in some of those colonies. Haiti. In Haiti, the French set up farms to grow sugar. These farms made a lot of money, but sadly they used African people as slaves to work on them in tremendous numbers. India. The French also tried to set up communities in India. However, they faced strong opposition from the British, who were also trying to control India. After the 7 Years' War, the French had to leave India. The conflicts, key events in European colonization. The Asiento system. The Asiento was a kind of agreement signed by Spain had allowed a private company to sell African people as slaves in Spanish colonies. Initially, this agreement involved Portugal, but later other European countries also became part of it. The system led to the enslavement of many African people, increased competition between European nations over the economic benefits from the slave trade. 2. The War of Spanish Succession. This war started because the King of Spain, Charles II, died without any children to take his place as the ruler. Charles II had chosen the grandson of King Louis XIV of France to be the next king, but this worried other countries in Europe, because they did not want France to have too much power. Therefore, different European countries fought against France and Spain. The war ended with a peace agreement called the Treaty of Utrecht, which accepted the new king, Philip, but also limited the power of France. 7 Years' War. This was a major war where many of the major European countries fought against each other. The main reasons behind this war were disagreements over who should control certain areas in Europe, tensions in the colonies around the world. The war finally ended with another agreement called the Treaty of Paris. We'll have many others of these. Treaty of Tordesillas. Spain and Portugal signed this treaty to decide how to divide the lands in South America between them. This treaty drew a line on a map. Land to the east of the line mostly belonged to Portugal. Land to the west of the line mostly belonged to Spain.